What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the top 10 weird British things. How much more vague can you get than that, right? Weird British things. And according to the title of this video, actually, top 10 things British people don't realize are weird, which I think is a very funny way to put it. Wouldn't that just mean that it's normal things in Britain, just kind of normal, and so they're weird to me because I'm an American, but then everything I do in America can be weird to British people? Okay, anyway, you get the point. This seems actually very, very fascinating to me because, for one thing, I have no idea what to expect. Maybe these are particularly weird, but either way, should be good stuff. So, with that being said, let's take a look.
For this list, we're taking a look at British customs and items that we take as a given, but are actually a little bit strange.
Okay.
Number 10, barrister wigs.
In light of the evidence, Mr. Tilsley's admission and taking your mitigation into account, I am now persuaded that you were not the instigator or ringleader in the crime committed against your grand.
Barrister wigs. I'm sorry, I gotta stop this. I don't know what that means. Honestly, this phrase, barrister wigs, is it the wig that she has on her head? Why is she wearing that? Why is she wearing like an old-timey wig? And is this something that is currently transpiring in Britain right now? People with these wigs, or okay.
While not a strictly British idiosyncrasy, wigs remain an odd part of the Brits barristers' dress code.
What? Really? Wait, what? Wait, what is a barrister? Huh, what? Why? These look like the wigs that were on a lot of, like, the old historical American, like, founders as well. Like, George Washington and stuff. These curly white wigs. Like, I've seen these before. I haven't thought about them in a while. Let me look up what a barrister is. Barrister. Maybe that will clear it up for me. A type of lawyer in common jurisdictions. It's a lawyer, mostly specialized in courtroom advocacy and litigation. What? There's lawyers out there in Britain wearing these wigs? Like, seriously? Like, I didn't... really? I didn't know that. I almost don't believe it, but I don't want to say that in case it's true.
God! How absolutely disgusting. Do people really do that sort of thing?
I believe so.
Introduced in the 17th century, they're meant to provide barristers with a sense of uniformity and anonymity.
Yeah, exactly. This is like 17th century stuff, I thought.
While also creating an imposing image to hammer home the supremacy of the law. Ironically, in the years prior to the introduction of the wig, barristers were expected to keep their hair short for a lot of the same reasons.
I'm so confused. Is this real? Like, I'm gonna look up barrister wig. I can't let this slide. I gotta know. Barrister wig. One of the things that comes up when you search it is barrister wig. Why? Why? That's what I'm saying. British barrister's wig. Okay. Do British barristers still wear wigs? New dress rules did away with barrister wigs, but wigs do remain in criminal cases? They're no longer required for family or civil court appearances. What? This is so much more serious than I ever imagined. Oh, this is real.
Though these eye-catching headpieces are used elsewhere in the Commonwealth, their ties to Britain and British history feel especially strong. Perhaps because of all those quintessential crime dramas. But still, they're an odd sight for the rest of the world.
Like, I do have an image in my mind of, like, a judge wearing this wig. Like, when I was a kid, I used to see stuff like that. I never thought it was serious. I'm sorry, but the whole curly fake wig on the judge going down to here, like, looks a little silly to me. So I thought it was kind of, like, not real. But I don't know. This is kind of blowing my mind in a way.
Bloody well think so.
Number 9, washing machines in the kitchen.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if anything's going to be able to top that. Okay, washing machines in the kitchen. That's very strange. And seems like you would make a racket when you're trying to cook your dinner. That's my first thought. But the wigs, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get over that. But let's continue.
Well, we did tell them to express themselves.
While increasingly not uncommon in most major cities, due to the lack of space in most modern flats, coming across a washing machine in a kitchen continues to baffle non-Brits.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is totally abnormal. I would have been very thrown off by this if if I'd somehow found myself in Britain, stumbled across this, I'd be like, is this a dishwasher that looks like a washing machine? Because that doesn't belong in here.
And in particular, the Americans. Whereas our cousins from across the pond prefer to devote their entire rooms or closets to their washers and dryers, we decided long ago that the best place for them was clearly somewhere between the dustbin and the kitchen sink. And there they've stayed.
I guess it's not totally crazy. It makes some sense. Like, I don't know. Cleaning your clothes, does that belong in the kitchen where you cook your food? I'm just not sure I'm convinced.
Why would you do that? Why? Oh, come on! Why?
As such, it's...
Oh, is that like an American's reaction to the laundry machines in the kitchen? Why?
easy to forget that all across the world, there are families folding their clothes in the comfort of a laundry room.
Yeah.
Flummoxed by us doing laundry within arm's reach of the toaster.
Yeah!
Hell out of my kitchen.
Number 8, our sense of humour.
I have a terrific sense of humor. It's just very dry.
Our sense of humor. The British sense of humor made a list of weird British things British people don't realize are weird. I feel like British people do probably realize that there is a thing called British humor, and that it can be like, it's its own unique thing. It's like an institution. It's famous, like in America, British humor. So I don't know if this is weird. It's definitely unique.
Often mistaken for having no sense of humor at all.
Satire, irony, self-deprecation, deadpan delivery, and a desire, nay, a need, to avoid sincerity at all costs. These are the things that make British humour unique. Perhaps Ricky Gervais summed it up best when he said that Brits mercilessly take the piss out of people we like or dislike.
I guess it would stand out if I was, like, being hit with British humor all the time. And it was, like, everywhere in the whole entire culture. Like, in Britain, there's obviously, like, it's just British humor. Like, whereas in America, British humor is a style of humor that an American sometimes comes across and is like, oh yeah, so sarcastic and satirical and self-deprecating. Yeah, that's good stuff. So yeah.
To some, this can come off as rude or nasty, but Brits know that deep down, it's all in good fun.
You've got all the charm of a rotting teddy bear by a graveside.
British humour is about being able to make fun of yourself. Something that flies directly in the face of big, brash US comedy.
I really, really enjoy that aspect of it. I think a lot of Americans do. Like, being able to make fun of yourself is good, for one thing, and very funny.
A good way to tell if you've just been run over by a solid British joke is if you find yourself asking, were they joking or not?
Okay.
You've only got one eyebrow.
The dog chewed it off last year.
Number 7, calling pulp juicy bits.
Yes. No. Let's go crazy. I'll have an orange juice.
This
is very specific. Calling pulp juicy bits. Well, if I was randomly encountered the phrase juicy bits, I wouldn't know exactly where my mind would go. Definitely not pulp. So I guess this is good to know, and I guess it kind of makes sense enough. It's kind of like juicy, clumpy bits, right? Pulp? Or does pulp deserve its own phrase? I don't know. Okay.
One should be obvious, but apparently it isn't. Orange
No.
juice comes with juicy bits or no bits, right? But those bits are pulp across the Atlantic, a decidedly
Yeah.
less off-putting word.
Juicy.
While the American option is likely more universal, it's not like our version is any less an accurate description.
Wait, juicy bits is like a formal thing? It's not a slang term? Like, Brits don't say pulp, they say juicy bits instead? Is that what I'm understanding here? I didn't realize that at all. That's even more interesting.
And it pays great homage to those other great British linguistic traits. Not saying exactly what we mean, and turning even everyday things into a mild euphemism.
Okay.
Orange juice. Probably not.
Number 6, spotted dick. Another
Spotted
food-based
dick.
innuendos.
Spotted dick. That's like this thing like Americans have heard of, and we obviously chuckle quietly to ourselves and like kind of chortle when we hear it. But I still to this day have no idea what it is, and I almost like convinced myself it doesn't really exist because yeah, you just don't say that in America, basically.
Spotted dick, sir. What? Spotted dick.
The ever-popular spotted dick is a traditional pudding that's really quite tasty.
Oh, it's pudding. It's a pudding. Why is it called that? It's a pudding, though. Okay.
But those who didn't grow up with this served after dinner tend to only snigger at its name before declining it in favour of a less risque cheesecake.
Yeah.
Such a staple is spotted dick, though, that there are still multiple canned varieties available.
Okay, so this is a common enough thing. Let me look it up. I hate to put this in my search history. Spotted dick. It's there. Traditional British steamed pudding, historically made with suet and dried fruit, often served with custard. What is suet? 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 It is raw, hard fat of beef, lamb, or mutton, found around loins and kidneys. Never mind. No spotted dick for me. I forgot that pudding kind of takes on a whole other dimension in Britain. It's not like the pudding I imagine in America, like chocolate pudding. It can have lamb kidney fat in it, apparently. Oh my god.
If you're in need of a quick fix. And if nudge nudge wink wink food is really all you're after, then why not have Scotch woodcock for breakfast and toad in the hole for your main?
I can't really say my grandmother used to make a sausage in the hole, my grandfather used to make sausage in the hole.
For a non-Brit looking in, our menus both
gosh.
boggle the mind and tempt the taste buds.
And I never realized it, but there's a lot of interesting names for stuff.
This is good. I thought the food here was supposed to suck.
Number 5, having multiple taps.
Ah, this is a classic. This is like finally one I'm familiar with, and it is weird. 2 taps for hot and cold, right? Although, isn't this kind of less common in the modern day, or?
How and why this is still a thing is pretty baffling in itself.
Yeah.
Across the world, other humans have evolved to the point where they're no longer required to either burn or freeze their hands off when they go to the loo. And yet, in these parts, having 2 separate taps for hot and cold water remains the norm.
Really? That's the norm in Britain? I didn't realize that that's actually, like, even now, that's the norm. Individual taps. So you really, I mean, when you want your hot water, you really get it, I guess. And cold's really cold, and it's instantaneous. You don't have to wait for the water to change temperature like you do with 1 tap. I don't know, I'm trying to find, like, reasons for me to get on the 2-tap train, but I don't know. Seems like kind of an inconvenience if you want warm water. You gotta, like, splash the 2 streams together or something. I don't know.
Still, seeing someone who's not accustomed to the setup try and fail to wash their hands without minor injury is kinda funny.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we refuse to change.
Ah.
Number 4. Affectionate texts.
Affectionate texts? Affectionate texts? What is this saying? It's saying that people outside of Britain are not affectionate with their texting? Or are Brits more affectionate than I ever realized? I don't even know what to think about this one. I didn't expect this. Okay.
You doing it?
Yes.
Have you done it?
Yet, hang on.
Too often have we been labelled as cold and unaffectionate. For too long has the world believed us to be an emotionless folk. And how do we prove that we like, or at least tolerate, other people? By signing off texts, tweets, and most other messages with a single lowercase x.
Don't bother trying to explain, because Bill Side has done it for you!
Oh, it's not okay. I thought this like talking about the content of the texts. Like, oh, it was so great to see you, love you. Like, all Brits are just sending that to each other constantly. And it's like the little X at the bottom. Like, doesn't that mean like kisses or something? Or circles means hugs, and I don't know, that's kind of a thing in America. We certainly don't put it in our text messages at the end. Okay. Is this accurate and common? I didn't know about this. It's kind of sweet. It's kind of nice.
For those not in the know, it represents a kiss. For the Brits scratching their heads right about now, this small gesture actually isn't standard everywhere else. And since the invention of emojis, it's become a cute callback to a bygone age.
Yeah. This is definitely not standard in America. No. I mean, maybe to like a romantic partner, maybe. It'd still be like a little uncommon, but I would at least understand what it meant, but certainly not standard.
As to the matter of how many kisses you should or shouldn't put, no one really knows for sure.
Ah, okay. Just go by
I
feel.
don't think I'm changing the subject, but I found a bus ticket.
Number 3, not tipping.
Luckily, I just bought another pair.
Oh, not tipping. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, especially for Americans, not tipping. Tipping is so ingrained in American culture. Like, there are, not just with restaurants and waiters, like, tipping extends to all sorts of, like, when you get your hair cut, when you get, like, a massage, when you go out to eat, when your car gets parked in certain circumstances, like if someone parks your car, if you're at some fancy hotel for some reason. Yeah, tipping is a complex art in America that is deeply ingrained. So yeah, this is, I don't know if that makes America weird, or if it makes Britain weird for not doing it. I'm not sure who's weird here. I don't know what the world as a whole tends to lean towards, tipping or not tipping. I don't know.
Taxi fare.
This one always throws tourists for a loop.
Yeah.
While it's common in North America for patrons to tip their waiters, waitresses, and bar staff, it's simply not a thing round this way, or across most of Europe, in fact.
Okay.
And maybe this entry, more than any other on this list, is one that we wind up stumbling over too.
I didn't realize that's how it was in most of Europe. Goodness knows, I don't know anything about that. Honestly, it sounds kind of nice. Tipping is, well, by definition, costs you extra money. But sometimes, in some places in the world, the tip is included in the bill, so you're not really saving money. And, I don't know, tipping in America is almost like you're like a little judge of the service worker's performance, of bringing you your chicken salad or something. You're kind of judging it and actually giving them a tip based off how kind and attentive they were. It's kind of bizarre that we're all kind of judging the judging how well certain service professions do their thing in America, but we're very, very used to it in a way, and most people actually default to like tipping 20% or better anyway, no matter how bad, quote unquote bad or good the person does at bringing you your coffee. But yeah, it's definitely completely different from what I can tell.
Because our natural inclination not to tip can get us into trouble on our holidays, all while supposedly confirming the assumption that we're a rude and uncaring bunch. It's not that we don't like you, it's just that we don't tip.
Right. Oh man, this would affect British people a lot when they're going, maybe visiting America or somewhere like that. Whereas tipping is just not part of the culture where they're from. So, man, yeah, I've never even thought about it from that perspective. That's good. It's good to think about it from that perspective. And then, do you end up just leaving a tip, or are you really like, no, I don't tip. Like, I don't really tip. And because in America, it doesn't really matter what your explanation is. I think whoever was serving you would be, in the bottom of their heart, be probably a bit upset to not get that tip, because it's just expected, like 100% of the time, expected as part of the payment.
All right, since you pay for the breakfast, I'll put in, but normally I would never do this.
Number 2, brown sauce.
Brown sauce? Brown sauce. What does this mean? This is a weird British thing? Is it gravy? Brown sauce sounds like gravy. If it's not gravy, I don't know what we're talking about at all.
Nothing screams delicious like brown sauce, but incredibly, only in the UK.
Oh my gosh, it's not gravy. It's whatever this is. Wait, let me look it up. What? Wait, a whole sauce category I never knew about. Brown sauce. What is this? It's a condiment commonly served with food in the United Kingdom and Ireland, normally dark brown in color. It's either tart or sweet with a peppery taste, like Worcestershire sauce. Why have I never heard of this in my life? Brown sauce. I mean, okay. Okay. This sounds interesting. What do you put it on? Everything? Whatever you want? Maybe there's no rules with the brown sauce. Kind of like ranch in America.
But it didn't prepare me for this sensation.
A traditional condiment with a standout flavour, it does the job for cooked breakfasts, bacon rolls, anything with chips, but the rest of the world simply hasn't caught on.
No.
Sure, you can get steak sauce elsewhere, and apparently endless variations of barbecue sauce, but the humble brown is by contrast a rare and unusual delicacy.
Really? Brown? I've really never heard of this. Brown sauce.
You must never eat a bacon sandwich without the big, bold flavour of HP sauce.
For non-Brits, even the experience of asking for it at a restaurant confounds. It's brown, it's sauce, it's brown sauce. Easy. Number 1, oddly specific regional accents.
Okay, oddly specific regional accents is number 1. I don't know, this isn't that weird to me. Like, at all, because in different regions of America, there are vastly different American accents. So, of course, the same thing can occur in regions of Britain. Like, that just makes total sense to me. I don't know, maybe that's different in other countries, but as an American, this isn't weird to me.
What did you think, love?
Oh, John, I thought it was just great.
The United States is the 4th largest country by area on Earth, while the whole of the United Kingdom ranks as only the 78th largest. How then?
Oh, is it like, since Britain is very small comparatively, I'm supposed to be like surprised that there's regional accents? No, I get it.
Can Britain have so many distinctive accents?
No, it's not. Peterson told me. No, it's not. Peterson told me.
It's something to endlessly baffle Americans and the rest of the world who can't seem to wrap their heads around the idea that people who live just down the road from each other have a completely different way of speaking.
Okay, if you put it like that, that sounds a little baffling. That's weird. So it's really the fact that there are different accents in such a small area. That's the weird thing. Yeah, okay, I get it. I get that, because, yeah, I could, like, travel quite far, like, through the bordering states around me, and struggle to find someone with a different accent that's noticeable. So I guess it is more different than I thought.
Is that how you treated people up in London? No wonder you're down here with your tail between your legs.
If you go by Hollywood movies alone, then we all fall into one of two camps. Ardent Cockney or softly spoken Queen's English.
Yeah.
In the real world, though, that's very far from the case.
Okay.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other
Yeah, in movies like that I see in America that have British people in it, it's always the same accent. Whatever, he just Cockney and British, Queen's English, or yeah, it's basically, that's spot on. It is always like that. So it'd be fun to hear some more if there's like a ton of regional accents that I've never heard. That actually sounds cool. All right. I liked this. I liked this list. It was a good list. I mean, I think I had never really heard like 9 out of 10 of these. That's pretty amazing. And a lot of weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff going on in Britain. All this brown sauce going on. I don't know about all that. All these wigs and brown sauce and juicy bits. A lot of weird stuff going on that I didn't know. This video was by WatchMojo UK. Nice. And I liked it. I liked this. This was very good. That was a very good list. Very entertaining, yet educational, I'll say. And certainly weird. But that's okay. Americans have endless weird things about us. Brits have their own cool weird things. It's wonderful. I really enjoyed learning about it. If you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain, British culture, stuff in Britain, about Britain I've never seen or learned before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thank you for watching, and see you next time.